Hi everybody, my name is John and welcome to my channel John Repeat, where I react to iconic music, artists, albums and other bits and pieces and put stuff on repeat. Today I'm going to be carrying on my Who Is series where I retrospectively look at iconic artists that I find interesting and just see like their retrospective careers. So today, as suggested, I'm going to be reacting to Harry Styles. Now, Harry Styles obviously started his journey in X Factor, like he's an English singer. He started in One Direction, one of the biggest bands of all time. And then in 2017, he went solo and released his own singles. And since then, he's absolutely been killing it and releasing albums like once every few years, which have been amazing. I'm not going to be reacting to anything pre-Harry Styles, his debut album. So like any stuff from One Direction, if you want me to react to that, I can do in a separate One Direction video, but today it's just going to be focusing on Harry. So the first song that I'm going to be listening to is his first single, Sign of the Times. Let's go. Oh my god, piano! Do you know what? This immediately gives me the energy of like Let It Be by the Beatles. It's very like reminiscent of that, that sort of classic sort of time. I mean, picture the scene, because like I think Zayn was the first one to go single for One Direction, so he did like Pillow Talk and everyone went crazy, and then everyone was waiting for like, obviously after One Direction finally broke up the sort of album afterwards, like what was going to happen, you know? So this was the first introduction to Harry, like as a solo artist on his own, which is really interesting. Oh, sirens. So, Just Stop Your Crying, it's a sign of the times. Welcome to the final show. I hope you're wearing your best clothes. You can't bribe the door on your way to the sky. You look pretty good down here, but you ain't really good. So, I think this was probably one of the best choices, I would say, for Harry to release as like a debut single, because he was always known for like his voice. So, like, him coming out with this song was like really highlighted the complexity of his voice, and also like the songwriting, like and so how good that is. I mean, it's talking about like the end, you know, the final death. Like you can't bribe anyone you're in Europe there, and it's like the final judgment. And it's like, you know, you look pretty good, but you're not good. And I like the way that that line is shorter and it's kind of, it doesn't follow that same rhyming pattern, so it emphasizes it, you know, it's good. Oh, falsetto is Harry. Ooh. I love the reverb as well. It's giving church, honey. Was this the music video where he was in that fucking Zara coat and he was like flying in the sky? That was such a moment in time, because this was like 2017, wasn't it? So this was like, it was just at the time, like, love it. Now, this is interesting. So I've never really properly listened to the lyrics, but if we never learn we've been here before, why are we always stuck and running from the bullets? We never learn we've been here before, why are we always stuck and running from your bullets, a bullet? Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. We gotta get away from here, we gotta get away from here. Just stop your crying, it'll be all right. They told me that the end is near. We gotta get away from here. I wonder if this kind of goes into like, you know, the philosophy of life, and like there's a theory like when you die that you are reincarnated and like your lesson in life needs to be learned, or else you are doomed to repeat the patterns forever. So maybe it's to learn to that and like becoming a better person, and like it switches up from why are you always stuck on running from the bullets to your bullets, a bullet. Like, girl, you're the problem. That's the kind of vibe that I get from it. This is interesting. Again, it's like very introspective and not what you'd expect from a debut, but I think it was the perfect choice. Or maybe this is from like a relationship that's broken down. If we read it from that perspective, it's almost like the death of the relationship. Like when you separate from someone, it's almost like they have died and they're in like a different place, you know? And like, kind of like it's sort of being this afterlife when you've broken up with somebody. And yeah, like repeating those same patterns and like them being in a toxic relationship, but and like running from the problems, but like this don't stop me crying. It's a sign of the times that we need to break up and move on. You know, it's interesting. I think like it can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. Oh, with the guitar, that's fun. And I love the imagery of that. It's almost like a war zone, you know, because I know that he did he did the Christopher Nolan film, like the war thing. So I don't know, it sort of conjures that image of like a battlefield. Oh, and it's like, yeah, you know, we know where this will end. This relationship, you know, we fall into those old patterns, but it's like recognition that this needs to stop, you know. I love the action of Baby, it's more intimate. Yeah! Wow. Amazing. I love the siren in the background, you know. But yeah, I think that this single really put into perspective like how much of a good vocalist he was, because obviously like everybody knows like he's a good vocalist, and they did know that in One Direction. But I suppose an element of being in a band, like you have to sort of share those parts, and the genres that you're delving into, it's kind of shared between you and like 4 other people or whatever. But yeah, it was interesting. So the next song I'm gonna listen to is Kiwi. Now I don't know if I've heard Kiwi before, but we're just gonna listen to it and see. Oh, it's giving like Arctic Monkeys energy. It's like delving into a different genre. I love the visual. She worked her way through a cheap pack of cigarettes, hard liquor mixed with a little bit of intellect. And all the boys, they were saying they were into it. Such a pretty face on a pretty neck. She's driving me crazy, but I'm into it, So it's like, it almost kind of as well as like playing into this persona that he had at the time. Because I know that like before he went single, he was known as like the womanizer of the group. And there's an element of like problematic nature of boy bands in the way that people like pigeonhole you into specific things, but he was always known as a womanizer. So I kind of view this song in a way of being like leaning into that a little bit and like creating this song and this narrative sort of centered around that, sort of exploring different facets of his artistry and personality, which is interesting. Oh my god, I do know this one! I know this one because I know that line. It's iconic. It's New York Baby, always jacked up. Holland Tunnel for a nose. It's always backed up. Is that an allusion to Coke? Miss Cocaine, honey? Maybe. And Holland Tunnel, I know that's like around New York area. The only reason I know that is because of the Michelle Visage roast on Drag Race. That's actually the only reason why I know. But yeah, when she's alone, she goes home to a cactus iconic line. We all know the houseplants are thirsty, honey. And in a black dress, like, it's creating this narrative and these like specific details. Ooh, the screams! I love the way that as well, because I've never properly listened to this song, but I know obviously I'm having your baby, it's none of your business. But the vocal styles and sort of playing with those in genres and vocals, like Sign of the Times is very like straight-laced, I'd say. But this, it shows another like diverse side of his personality, which is really cool. Ooh. Oh, it shows the intense sexual nature of the relationship, honey. It's giving Pretty Woman. And yeah, it's like, I paid for it, I'm gonna pay for this. I like how it's flipped that round. She's trouble, but he loves it. Come on, Harry! Okay, so the next one I'm going to listen to is Watermelon Sugar from Harry's album in 2019, Fine Line, his second album. This song was everywhere. Everyone was obsessed with this song. There was him with the sweat and the head like that, and it was a whole moment. But yeah, we're just going to listen. So yeah, Watermelon Sugar. Let me tell you something about this song, okay? This song, is it about the loving of the ladies? Like, I always thought, okay, in my crackpot mind, because like I'm a fan of Beyonce, and when she was like, I've been drinking watermelon because of the seeds, I thought that was more male sort of like just not necessarily the female, but you know, props to Harry, okay? We love some positivity there. But I remember hearing this song and I was like, that is not what it means, but I think I'm just far removed from knowing what that would even mean, you know, but yeah, come on, Harry. I love the guitar in this as well. It sounds very summery. That's like sort of taking the stage of the center stage of like the production with the instrumentation. And it sounds like a dream. Like, it tastes like strawberries on a summer evening, and it sounds just like a song. Love it. It's beautiful voice. And we've got the harmonies. It's the falsetto watermelon sugar for me. Oh. I love the riff. And yeah, baby, you're the end of June. I want your belly and that summer feeling getting washed away in you. I love that imagery. It's beautiful. And yeah, like this end of June, like the summer, the heat, the passion, and you've got like the water imagery as well. It's great. And it's like, breathe me in, breathe me out. It's like taking part of the natural world and like comparing it to this person who you love, you know. I see you, Harry. I know what you're doing. It's very catchy though, isn't it, as well? You can't deny it. And there's no other song called Watermelon Sugar in the whole world, so it's amazing. Love the piano. The ad-lib's really great. So like sort of stacked. And it's got the saxophone moment. Great. Oh, I love that run. Gorge. So the next song I will be listening to is Adore You. Now, is this the one with the fish? With the fish? I think so. We shall see. Sounds like a submarine almost. Back in again with the strawberry. I see you, Mr. Harry Styles with that strawberry honey. Okay. I don't know if this is relating to the same person or not. Like, this is a familiar scent for this specific love interest, but maybe, I don't know. And you can see sort of how this is really cohesive within Fine Line, because you've still got that strumming of that guitar, that similar sort of vibe. And that's iconic, isn't it? Like, I walked through the fire for you, just let me adore you. And yeah, like, looking at these lyrics here, like, you don't have to say you love me, you don't have to say nothing, you don't have to say you're mine. I walk through fire for you, just let me adore you. A one-sided relationship, honey. And it's like your wonder under summer skies, brown skin and lemon over ice. Like it's getting summer holiday vibes, you know. And yeah, like it's creating this sort of album that's full of these like summer moments. The tone of the album is very like light and sort of summery from hearing these two songs, not the whole body of work, obviously. But yeah, one thing about his lyrics are so introspective and poetic. I think they're beautiful. There's loads of imagery there. I don't think he sometimes gets credit for being a writer as well, as an amazing singer. And I think that through his solo career, we've been able to see more of a kind of different facets of him as an artist, not just his voice and not just this personality that he was pigeonholed into being, but so much more than that. And the R's all being stacked with that creates this dream-like summer halcyon days, you know. Gorge. I love the way it's all these lines are repeated as well. It's like very earnest and very much like that repetition, like emphasizing it's the only thing I'll ever do. It's like you're falling deeper and deeper in love with somebody. And then it's all syncopating together. Ooh, cool vocal runs. I love his tone of his voice is so gorgeous, isn't it? The next one I'm going to listen to is Fallin', again from Fine Line. Again, I remember the visual of him like underwater with the piano and like all the tool. Like that's so gorgeous. So yeah, Fallin', love this one. And there's no one to blame but the drink and my wandering hands. I'm in my bed and you're not here, and there's no one to blame but the drink in my wandering hands. In my bed, vulnerable. Person that he wants isn't there with him. There's no one to blame but the drink in my wandering hands. Wandering hands to me connotes maybe a cheating thing, maybe sort of flirting with somebody else maybe, but the drink in my wandering hands, drinking problem. All of these things can ruin relationships, right? So we don't know the specifics of everything, but it's vulnerable. It's beautiful. And yeah, in arguments we all say things that we regret, and sometimes the truth comes to light in arguments in a way in which you wouldn't normally say it. But as well, I think it touches on when you're in a relationship with somebody, sometimes you're in a relationship and you love that person, but they're also a distraction from your own self. So like, and when you're with someone for over a long time, your identity kind of, it's not just about them, but it can kind of, you relate to them and part of who you are is like, oh, I'm like a, for example, my example, like I'm a son, I'm a brother, but like when I was in a relationship, I'm also a boyfriend as well. And when that's gone, you question your identity, you know. And I love that, like, what am I now? What am I now? What if I'm someone I don't want around? It's like falling into depression. And the falling can mean I'm falling again, I'm falling back into my old habits, I'm falling again for you, but I can't have you. Like, it has a lot of different meanings. I write too many songs about you. At least you're so self-aware about that. You said you care and you miss me too, and I'm well aware I write too many songs about you. So this is like the second verse, reframing it again, the narrative, adding more to the story, sort of making the narrative richer. Obviously, since listening to this back and knowing what he creates next, this is interesting, and it kills me because I know we've run out of things we can say. Kind of like, it's not the same as it was, honey. Like, the things have changed. I love that. See, this is why I love doing these retrospectives, because it really recontextualizes things. And yeah, I like the details of, like, at the Beechwood Cafe, you know, it's like adding narratives to the writing, adding these specific moments. Oh, it's giving me goosebumps. And I love how that's like everything sort of around that line, and this is like a high emotional part of the song where he's the bridge, and I get the feeling you'll never see me again. That's where that would usually be, right? Shows how good it makes him to feel needed, and I think that's a part of like psychology as well. For like certain people, like they want to feel needed, they want to feel like a protector, you know, and I get the feeling that you'll never need me again. It's a very vulnerable line, and you can see why the production was stripped back and that was like his vocals just saying that. Makes sense. So the next one I'm going to listen to is Matilda. So we're going to see what this is about. I've heard a lot about this song, but I've not listened to it, so I'm interested. You were riding your bike to the sun, no big deal. So you were riding your bike to the sound of It's No Big Deal, and you're trying to lift off the ground on those old two wheels. Nothing about the way that you were treated ever seemed especially alarming till now. So you tie up your hair and you smile like it's no big deal. It's like giving the energy of like E.T., you know, like when they fly with a bike. And coming from like a negative family dynamic and an abusive dynamics, you want like that escapism. So like riding the bike and it flying away, the fact that it's like an old two wheels, like it's like maybe like not even the bike that is bought for her, like maybe a hand-me-down sort of situation. And you sometimes get so normalized to the way things are in certain situations and dynamics that you don't realize how problematic they are until someone maybe points them out or you see it from a different perspective, which is really sad. I love the guitar plucking, it's beautiful. It kind of sounds a bit like in some of these like classic rock bands, Fleetwood Mac, I can hear sort of elements of that maybe. It's really interesting. I know that he's really influenced by like Stevie Nicks and people like that, so it's quite interesting to hear that. And you can let it go. You can throw a party full of everyone you know and not invite your family because they never showed you love. You don't have to be sorry for leaving and growing up. Yeah, you don't need to be sorry for having those boundaries. And some people don't understand, and some people like almost blame you for cutting toxic family out of your life or whatever. And it's your prerogative to do that. It's like he's speaking directly to this Matilda person, whether it's his own experience or someone else. It's interesting. For people who've never been in that dynamic, they have absolutely no idea what it's like, and like the fact that he's like bringing to light this person Matilda and like everything that she's been through and just like thinking about it and being there for her is amazing. Matilda, you talk of the pain like it's all alright, but I know that you feel like a piece of you's dead inside. Maybe the reason is because she's so desensitized to what happened in childhood that when she talks about it, it's like she's detached from it, you know? And part of you does kind of die. It's maybe like your inner child, like the childhood you wish you had. You have to kind of like grieve for all of that. Let it go. Seasons, anywhere you go, you don't need a reason. I love that you can see the world following the seasons. Anywhere you go, you don't need a reason. You shouldn't need to justify. Sometimes when you're in that environment, like you feel like you have to justify yourself and justify where you are in life and answer to somebody. And it's that empowerment to say, actually, I can do whatever I want. I'm an adult. I can go here, and I can live here and live my life how I choose, which is really the beauty of adulthood. A lot of people miss childhood, but the beauty of adulthood is the sort of control that you can have over your life. That you can go anywhere and do anything, and it's hard, but you can make something of yourself and do something greater than where you were from before, which I think is beautiful. It's a beautiful head voice. And yeah, I don't believe that time will change your mind. In other words, I know they won't hurt you anymore as long as you let them go. As you can let them go. Like, sometimes the best and most healthy thing for you to do in a toxic environment is to let people go and have those boundaries. And it's good that this Matilda girl, she said, fuck you, family, never showed me love, I'm gonna do it on my own, which is iconic. Yeah, and it's like you can start that loving family, you can break the cycle and that the generational trauma, which is just nice. And good for you, Matilda. It's hard, but, you know. Okay, so the penultimate one I'm going to listen to is Late Night Talking. So we're going to start, and this is from Harry's House, which was released in 2022. And this is what he won Album of the Year for. I know there was a lot of controversy when he won it, because everyone was like, you know. But yeah, so we're going to be listening to Late Night Talking. So he's playing it with production styles here. Okay, so things haven't been quite the same. There's a haze in the horizon, babe. It's only been a couple of days and I miss you. It's like when you're first in a relationship and you got the butterflies, you know, and it's only a couple of days and I miss you. When nothing really goes to plan, you stub your toe or break your camera, I'll do everything I can to help you through. If you're feeling down, I just want to make you happier, baby. Wish I was around. Yeah, so, just like, again, like, he has this thing of like wanting to feel needed and wanting to support someone he's with. It's interesting seeing like his psychology throughout these songs. Anything you want till the morning. Hey, I'm coming to. Oh, I love that vulnerable. I've never been a fan of change, but I'd follow you to any place. If it's Hollywood or Bishopsgate, I'm coming too. Oh, he's got like the place names, it's great. And yeah, like I've never been a fan of change. Like the sometimes getting into a relationship and the newness of a relationship can be scary, you know. And he's vulnerable about that. Still's got the great guitar riffs throughout it all. Wow, beautiful. And it all linking up together. That's what I love about songs. I love it when a song when like you've got all these separate melodies and then at the end they all culminate and create this like syncopated moment. So the final song I'll be listening to is As It Was. As It Was. I remember I used to hear this song and I used to feel so sad, nostalgic. Love it. Let's listen. I don't know who the person is in the beginning. I don't know that. Can someone tell me who that is? I don't know who that is. I always think the backing of this song is very reminiscent of like Britpop and like Kind of sounds like Keen. I don't know why I think that in my mind. I just think it sounds a bit like Keen, like everybody's changing. I don't know. Holding me back, gravity's holding me back. I want you to hold out the palm of your hand. Why don't we leave it at that? Nothing to say when everything gets in the way. Seems you cannot be replaced, and I'm the one who will stay. And like the ending of that relationship, and like life just getting on top of you and in between you and the person that you love, and all these circumstances. You know why I think this song also is really good? Is it taps into the zeitgeist in such a good way. I mean, this was in 2022 when all the lockdowns ended with COVID, etc. And so he's talking about a relationship, but what's amazing and why I think this song became so popular as well is it talks about like the modern world and the modern landscape in a way, and represented how we were all in a really uncertain time, which is probably, you know, another reason, aside from it being a great song, that it caught on, you know. Harry, no good alone. Why are you sitting at home on the floor? What kind of pills are you on? Turning to narcotics. We obviously see previously in his discography turning to alcohol and other things, and cocaine, etc. So it's interesting seeing that common thread throughout the career. You know, him, you know, depending on substances potentially during difficult periods. You know, it's not the same. Go home, get ahead, light speed, internet. I don't want to talk about the way that it was. Leave America, 2 kids follow her. I don't want to talk about who's doing it first. It's just like when you break up with somebody and the dreams that you had with them and sort of that not being something that you can follow anymore. And you don't want to talk about who's doing it first. The dreams that you share with another person. Obviously you've split it. It's really difficult. Oh, I love that hay! And the bells going church! It's beautiful. It's going. Woo! So, that was it. That was my Who Is series on Harry Styles. If you liked this, then please like and subscribe. It would mean an awful lot to me. And let me know in the comments if there are any other artists you'd like me to do retrospective reviews of. And until next time, thank you so much for your time and see you later. Bye. Bye.